If that's the case, I will strip away all that you know, all that you love, until you have no shelter but me. Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay, well, Ashton is dead and we are fucked. Shadow and Bone is a Netflix adaptation of a young adult series written by Leigh Bardugo. It covers the Grishaverse trilogy as well as the Six of Crows duology. This isn't really well known outside of the book world, but it will be known eventually when Netflix makes it mainstream. To give a very big summary, it is basically about a young girl who lives in a village with her best friend, and she finds out that she actually has powers. Once that discovery is revealed, she is taken to the kingdom where she meets other people who have the same powers as her, and one of the people that she meets is the Darkling. The Darkling is a very divisive character because he is technically the villain, but some people consider him to be the love interest. There's an ongoing conflict throughout the books where there has been something called the Fold, which is this swath of impenetrable darkness, and it's really scary and it can destroy the whole world. And our boy, the Darkling, wants to open it. Who could have expected this from someone named the Darkling? These books were published a long time ago, but now that Netflix is picking up the series and has released the cast, it is now a relevant topic again, which also means that there is more discourse going on. Namely, whether it is problematic for you to be obsessed with the Darkling. What makes it even more complicated is that Netflix has cast Ben Barnes as the Darkling, who is also known to be a man who instigates a lot of thirst among women. And because this is an adaptation, you will now clearly see the age difference between the Darkling and the main character, Alina, where she is a teenage girl, and the Darkling is actually like old as balls. He's like super ancient, but the actor for Ben Barnes, I believe, is in his late 30s, so you see the age difference a little bit more clearly, and also he's a killer. So that kind of like muddles things a little bit. There's a lot of infighting going on about who the main girl should have picked. Should she have picked Mao, her childhood best friend, or should she have picked the Darkling, the hot villain? But I think both sides of the ships can all agree that they are mad at Alina, just for different reasons. One side is mad at Alina for even being attracted to the Darkling in the first place because he is super problematic, he has killed a whole bunch of people, he wants to possess her and control her, and he's just all around a super bad dude. On the other hand, people who love the Darkling still are annoyed by Alina because she is also attracted to her childhood best friend Mao. So they're like, how could she be so stupid to pick him instead of this hot piece of ass over here? There's an ongoing debate on whether she should have picked Mao or she should have picked the Darkling, which is what has brought me to this video. Alina gets made fun of a lot for being the typical YA protagonist where she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's kind of on the fence a lot. She can't really make a decision. Does she like the Darkling or is she repulsed by him? She doesn't even know. When you are a reader, it's very easy to make judgments for a character thinking, I wouldn't do that. If I were in her place, I would make so much smarter decisions. But we have the luxury of having that foresight ahead of us. And so who's to really say if we were in that situation, would we have done the same actions as she has? So I thought to myself, what if the roles were reversed? What if the Darkling was a modern day hot girl who was hell-bent on destroying the world? Would we be susceptible to the evil wiles of a hot person even if they're hell-bent on creating genocide? That's really what I'm here to discover for this video. What I have done is created a fake Tinder profile. I use pictures of a hot girl, which I'm not gonna show because that's not the point. The point is I basically catfish people. That's the whole premise of this video, and not with my face because, you know, we're trying to get people to swipe right. I catfish myself as a hot girl on Tinder, but the catch is I would only interact with people using quotes from the Darkling. This was a test to see would the average 21st century fuckboy be susceptible to a hot force of nature like the Darkling. Because the thing about the Darkling is that he can disguise himself as anybody. That's how he's able to look so young even though he's old as balls. So theoretically, if there were a Darkling that existed today, he could easily be a hot girl and he could try to get fuckboys to do his own bidding. Would that be successful? That is the question that I am going to answer today. What I have done to prepare for this video is I created a Tinder profile. My Tinder bio was very simple. It says something along the lines of, I want to open the fold, and that's it. Because that's his only motivation in life and his only character trait. And I have surveyed 10 boys on Tinder to see if they would be susceptible to the Darkling. If we let the fate of our world and our lives rest on the shoulders of fuckboys, will we survive? Let's find out. The first guy that I talked to is named Drew. Whenever I match with someone, the first line that I always say to him comes directly from a quote from the Grisha books. The problem with wanting is that it makes us weak. Guess I'm weak then. What's up? So already we know Drew is gonna die. I mean, that was just too easy. You can tell by his usage of that starstruck emoji that he's already entranced, just like how Alina was entranced by the Darkling when she met him too. Guess I'm weak then. Already he has put himself in this hole of being weaker and more submissive. And that's how the Darkling gets you. He preys upon girls who are willing to give up themselves and play on the submissive role for them. So Drew is dead. Let's move on to the next guy. Connor actually ended up texting me before I got to talk to him. He said, hey, what's up? I've been waiting for you a long time, Connor. You and I are going to change the world. Wow, way to take forever, Kennedy. Since the Darkling's name in the Netflix show is going to be called General Kerrigan, I used another K word for my hot girl alias as well. Connor says sarcastically, wow, way to take forever, Kennedy. Fine, make me your villain. Why aren't we hanging out yet? That depends on what you can do for me. What would you like? I want to enter the fold. Will you join me? Let's do it. So Connor is just an eager beaver. He's just down for anything. He doesn't even know what the fold is, but he already wants to join me. He just met the Darkling and he already wants to hang out. Does he not realize the danger that he is in? Clearly not. So I had to try to spell it out even more clearly to him to let him know the kind of danger that he was in and the kind of troubling circumstances that he might be signing up for. Again, I used a direct quote from the Darkling. I will strip away all that you know, all that you love, until you have no shelter but me. Sounds like my kind of party. This isn't a party, Connor. This is life or death. Don't do it. Like calls to like. So how does this work? First, I need to find an amplifier to make you stronger so that we can rule as equals. Great fucking job, Connor. Now the world is dead because of you. This guy was just eager the whole time. He was like down for anything. This is how the world gets in danger. If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. He didn't even think this through. He just agreed to everything I said, which goes to show the power that good-looking people can have, even if they are hell-bent on destroying humanity. As long as they're good-looking and can seduce you, they will be able to do it. We have the next guy, Chandler, who is a very inquisitive person. He read my bio about how I wanted to enter the shadow fold, and he said, what is a shadow fold? It's a swath of darkness that suddenly appeared one day. I want to enter it. I have no clue what that means. At least Chandler is honest. He doesn't know what it means. He's feeling a little bit hesitant, but he's a little bit curious about what this fold exactly entails. I know things about power that you can barely guess. I'm not a big fan of darkness, would probably get scared. I could be merciful. So you're the darkness? People call me the Darkling. Chandler is scared of the darkness, but he's about to get the Darkling. For this other guy, Jake, I texted him, I wonder sometimes how much we really understand our own gifts. Please elaborate. I think you can summon the sun and we can work together to change the world. You're saying I'm the yin and you're the yang. You were meant to be my balance. You are the only person in the world who might rule with me, who might keep my powers in check. So we're gonna destroy the establishment, then establish monarchical rule. Honestly, that sounds sick. I fuck with that. No, Jake. It's not that simple. You don't want to fuck with that. Let's enter the fold together. We can rule as equals. What's the fold? I'm not ready to leave this world yet. Okay, good. We have hesitation. We have this moment where Jake is wondering, wait a minute, do I actually want to sign up for this? I was ready to fuck with that, but do I really want to fuck with that? But the Darkling is so charismatic and so charming that the Darkling can convince anyone of anything. You need to think bigger. We can make a new world. You live in a single moment. I live in 1,000. After that, I texted Adam saying the old age quote that the Darkling likes to say, like calls to like. Now that you have me confused, hi, I'm Adam. I hope you don't expect fairness from me, Adam. It isn't one of my specialties. Well, being hella confused is one of my specialties, and it's happening right now. I've seen what you truly are, and I've never turned away. What the fuck is going on? Adam's starting to get scared, as he should be. If anybody talks to you like that, they are probably a villain, and if anyone is named the Darkling, they're probably evil. So already Adam is starting to have some hesitations, he's getting scared, but the Darkling still presses on. I doubt you have any idea what you are. I really don't. I wonder sometimes how much we really understand our own gifts. Poor sweet Adam. With Ryan, I decided to toss in a different kind of quote, just completely out of context, because at one point the Darkling tells to Alina, I guess you only look like a mouse. I wanted to gauge his reaction, see what happens when somebody calls him a mouse, and Ryan said, like Tom and Jerry. I hope you don't expect fairness from me, Ryan. It isn't one of my specialties. I don't. If anything, you could have said rat. At least we know I stay inside. I will hunt you like an animal. I'm not hiding. Bitch, you should be hiding. Why are you giving away your position to the Darkling? Good, because you will find no sanctuary. You will have no peace. Sound like a hell of a time. How should I carry you home? Ryan, the only thing that you are carrying home is the weight of the deaths around you when you enable this kind of behavior. Thanks for asking. You were meant to be my balance. You see that already, eh? Sounds pretty sweet. You gotta have heart with me though. Do you think I could have come to you again and again if you had been left alone? You called me and I answered. It's a definite possibility, especially since I don't say much. What am I for you though? You can be my sun summoner and we can rule the world together. You can be the Luna to my soul. See, Ryan thinks that we're doing some cutesy horoscope shit. This ain't it. We about to destroy the world, and Ryan is risking it all. I will strip away all that you know, all that you love, until you have no shelter but me. So where do we go from here? Why are people still willing to converse with you after you say a line like that? So Ryan's dead, we entered the fold together, and now we're gonna move on to the next guy. Hopefully the next guy is a little bit more cautious before entering the fold. I hope you don't expect fairness from me, Ashton. It isn't one of my specialties. Nope, I didn't expect it at all. I could be merciful. What's the fun in mercy? When the world is at stake and when thousands of lives are in danger, you are gonna want mercy. If that's the case, I will strip away all that you know, all that you love, until you have no shelter but me. Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay, well, Ashton is dead and we are fucked. We have another guy that beat me to the punch before I got to message him. His name is Andrew, and he asked me, what's a shadow fold? But then he also says, this isn't a real account, is it? So this is already starting to be promising. There's a sense of skepticism that I think is healthy. I think when you approach anyone who seems a bit too good looking and a bit too charismatic, you should be suspicious about their real intentions. This is something that I wish Alina could have had more of in the books, and we unfortunately didn't get to see it. So I'm glad that Andrew seems like a more formidable protagonist. So the Darkling technically said this line to Mal, but for this instance, I feel like this is more suitable for Andrew. Don't feel too bad, Tracker. All men can be made fools. Wait, you are real, aren't you? For the love of God, say something. I gotta be honest, you're perhaps the most beautiful girl I've seen on here, let alone. Let me just take you out. I'm not trying to use you for sex. Well, that's what they all say, isn't it? But for real, I just wanna see that personality matches that face. He turned sides so quickly. So quickly, he was ready to join the dark side. So quickly, he was bamboozled just by looks alone. I continued pulling direct quotes from the Darkling. What if I'm no better than you? Like, you just want to meet a good person and fall in love with your best friend? Because that would be fine with me. At least we've established that you're real, so I guess there is hope. The hard part is getting you interested in talking to me. I'd assume you hate this app and think all men are trash. All men can be made fools. The problem with wanting is that it makes us weak. Or I could be way off and you're just using this app for a hookup, which I'm not judging you, but that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, don't worry. The Darkling is looking for more than a hookup. I'm looking for someone to rule the world with me. Yeah, me too. Someone who makes me better and someone that I make better. Straight power couple that make all other couples tremble in fear. We could do that, you know? I'm super picky and can't just date someone for looks though. I need the personality to be a 10 as well. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna work out with Andrew because the Darkling doesn't really have a personality, so if he's looking for more than that, he's not gonna get it. I moved on on to Tyler with the same random line, "I guess you only look like a mouse." "I'm sorry? I've been waiting for you a long time, Tyler. You and I are going to change the world." And then he never replied to me after that. I think Tyler is gonna be the only one who's alive here. Ladies, if somebody calls you a mouse, don't go for them. And then lastly, we have Cassidy. "I doubt you have any idea what you are." "Oh, how's that?" "I think you can summon the sun and we can work together to change the world." Are you talking about the Grishaverse? Well, the jig is up. I said, hell yeah, and he said, who's your favorite character? I'm breaking character now and I'm saying Inesh is my queen. I always thought the Darkling was an interesting character, and so is Nikolai. Okay, so that's really the end of the conversation. Can't really trick someone who already knows what they're getting into. Based on the 10 men that I surveyed, humanity is fucked. If the modern day 21st century fuckboy could not be susceptible to the Darkling at this day and age, who's to say any of us could be? I think we need to have more sympathy for what Alina has been going through. It's a lot of confusing things and a lot of conflicting emotions. It's a lot for a regular teenage girl. It's a miracle that she could save the world, because if these Tinder fuckboys were in charge of things, we would all be dead. So this concludes my quick little experiment of what would happen if you were on Tinder as the Darkling. It really goes to show that as long as you're good looking and seemingly age appropriate, you can do whatever you want. And that really goes to show how powerful the Darkling can be. Before I end this video, I have two things to say. The first is that I'm contractually obligated to tell you Skillshare is sponsoring this video once again. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering creative and entrepreneurial skills. Premium membership gives you unlimited access so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you. Skillshare is also affordable, especially when comparing to classes and workshops in person. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Unfortunately, Skillshare does not have any classes that teach you how to catfish, but something that I would recommend, and is also a reason why I don't typically go on Tinder, is a class called Productivity Today, Managing Attention in the Digital Age. So this is a class that talks about how when you are living in today, everybody wants your attention, you know, like whether it's from apps or website notifications or emails or calendar invites. There's just a lot going on. There's a teacher that shares how you can increase your attention span and quiet your mind and get more done. I was only on Tinder for less than half an hour before I stopped this experiment, because I just don't fuck with that kind of environment, and instead that's more time that I would rather be spending reading books. So if you're interested in that class, or if you're interested in any other productivity classes that they have, you can sign up with my link in the description for a 2 free month trial. And the last thing that I have to say is that I owe shout outs. For every subscriber milestone that I get, I will shout out a smaller booktuber so that they can get the clout too. And last time I did this, I had 50K, now I have 54K. The first booktuber that I want to shout out is Thor Wants Another Letter. In particular, there's a video that they have made about what it's like to be Indigenous on BookTube. And they're also heavily involved in the Indigenous Readathon that is hosted by Ed2 Brody. I think it's important for more Indigenous people to be represented. If you're looking to diversify the type of people that you watch, you should definitely check out Thor Wants Another Letter. And speaking of the Indigenous Readathon, I am helping Brody out by hosting a reading sprint. I don't know if that will happen by the time I post this video, but if you are following the Twitter, then you'll be up to date with that. But yeah, support Indigenous readers and creators. The second booktuber I want to shout out is Princess of Paperback. I actually have been watching her for a really long time. I just have held back on shouting her out because she had more than 1K subscribers, but I've thrown away that rule out the window. So I think you should check her out anyway, even though she has more than 1K. She pretty much has the variety of booktube videos that you would want, ranging from readathon videos to vlogs to BookCon events to wrap-ups. In particular, there is one video that she's made called Shoujo Manga Recommendations. I think there are 2 of them now as I'm posting this. I plan on posting my own video about Shoujo Manga Recommendations, but I think hers is like a good baseline to start off with if you are interested in that genre. The third booktuber I want to shout out is Pastel Pages. Pastel Pages is also the host of the Gilmore Girls Readathon, and what really stood out to me about her was that her videos are so aesthetically pleasing. She colors them so well, and I love that she is already starting a readathon that taps into the nostalgia of TV shows that we used to watch. And overall, she just seems like a really sweet person. So if you are into aesthetically pleasing videos, unlike mine, then definitely check her out. I think that she has a very sweet personality that is like a magnet, and you just want to watch more of her. The fourth booktuber I want to shout out is Crescent Moon Reads. Rhiannon actually appeared in a collab video that I posted, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Hopefully you will have already subscribed to Rhiannon by then, but I never really got to give them like a proper shout out, so I'm doing that now. Rhiannon has a lot of great bookish content, but even outside of that, there's other niches like learning more about what it's like to be a witch, or them going over true crime stories, and just other miscellaneous things that I think varied beyond just booktube. I got to hang out with them when I was in Texas, and they are exactly how they are in their videos as in real life. Super thoughtful, super mature. Check all these people out, unsubscribe from my channel, and goodbye.
Every day if I could have it, I'd wake up next to you.